The LG G2 versus the iPhone 5. It's a battle of differences. A large display versus a compact 4-inch body. Polycarbonate versus aluminum. And finally, Android versus iOS. Moreover, we're about to witness the heated battle of camera phones. The Apple iPhone 5 was long the gold standard for camera phones, and now we have a competitor, the LG G2. After this comparison, you'll be able to make an informed decision about which one to buy. This is Victor with Phone Arena presenting you a comparison between the LG G2 and the iPhone 5.
The Apple iPhone 5 is often considered to be the gold standard in design. Sleek aluminum body, elegant chamfered edges, compact and durable. The LG G2 on the other hand comes with a polycarbonate body that is practical and elegant, but lacks that very solid build quality and squeaks just a little bit. If we had to sum it up, the iPhone 5 feels monolithic, more trustworthy. Now both devices are very ergonomic and easy to use. The iPhone 5 is compact enough so all its buttons are within easy reach, but the G2 does not lag behind. LG has put all its physical buttons on its back, and that makes a lot of sense and is easy to get used to. We can safely say we're looking at two of the best displays we've ever seen on a smartphone. Both screens are very sharp, but the G2 has the slight edge. The two displays also have lively, vibrant colors. The iPhone 5 is extremely well calibrated, with pleasing warm tonalities, while the G2 has slightly colder colors. The iPhone 5 is a bit more comfortable for outdoor use. It's a bit more brighter, legible even under direct sunlight, and viewing angles are great on both devices. iOS versus Android, simplicity versus sophistication, it's an endless battle and a matter of personal preference. Now, we like the simplicity of iOS, but Android feels like the more advanced operating system per se, with its richer customization options. It is also better integrated in the cloud with apps like Google Now that automatically serve you relevant information when you need it, or with Google's quick and accurate voice search. Android's big advantage remains its great sharing capabilities. iOS in that regard is definitely limited. Now, iOS' big advantage remains its app ecosystem, and games in particular. The Apple App Store is still getting the hottest titles first and oftentimes exclusively, and a game like Plants vs. Zombies 2 is just one recent example that comes to mind. Both cover basic functionality well, with rich phone books that sync to the cloud, and when it comes to messages and email, typing is accurate and quick as both keyboards are spacious and responsive. For daily operations, both devices feel equally buttery smooth, working without any slowdown, but under heavier strains there are differences. Arriving nearly a year after the iPhone 5, the LG G2 has more advanced and powerful hardware. The LG G2 with its quad-core Snapdragon 800 chip running at 2.2 GHz feels like a leap ahead of the dual-core Apple A6 chip running at 1.3 GHz. The G2 also has double the RAM. For games though, it's a close race, but the iPhone 5 still remains one of the best gaming devices with an excellent graphics unit. The G2, however, has doubled the internal storage with 32 GB of memory against 16 GB on the iPhone 5, and that's more space for your apps and media. Browsing is very fast on both devices. The G2 features Google's mobile Chrome browser and LG's customized Android browser, while the iPhone 5 has mobile Safari pre-installed. What's built inside works flawlessly on both. Pages are rendered quickly and scrolling and zooming around is fast as well. Good news is that with 4G LTE connectivity on both devices, download speeds could reach that of a home network connection. One thing to note is that the G2 has the advantage of supporting NFC, something that the iPhone 5 does not have built in. Camera is where the battle between the LG G2 and the iPhone 5 really gets heated. The iPhone 5 has been the gold standard for smartphone cameras in the past year or so, but new competitors are starting to emerge and the G2 is a very strong one. The 8-megapixel camera on the iPhone 5 competes against a 13-megapixel shooter on the G2, and the G2 has the big advantage of optical image stabilization. Firing up the camera is quick on both, but the iPhone is just lightning fast and opens faster. Apple features a very simple camera interface with almost no manually adjustable settings. Just press the button and shoot. LG, on the other hand, also has a very clean interface, but underneath its simplicity are a bunch of shooting modes that newbies would find useful. The G2, however, also features more professional options that you can adjust. White balance, ISO, timer, and filters are all adjustable via large and easy to find buttons. The actual images are great on both handsets. We find shots of the LG G2 to be slightly but consistently better. Images taken on LG's new flagship are a bit sharper than normal but extremely detailed, while the iPhone 5 has well-detailed shots with more digital noise inside. The image stills on the LG G2 have very eye-pleasing colors, and the iPhone 5 is good but not all that consistent and sometimes cannot hit the right color temperature. Indoors, where light gets low, we came up very impressed by the G2. It captures very sharp and clean images with well-preserved color in conditions where the iPhone 5 captures way too much noise and overblows colors. Now, both devices record 1080p video, but the G2 again supports 60 frames per second, and the actual benefit of this is smoother, less skippy video quality. Now, in reality, the G2 video footage varies a lot depending on the light. Out in the open and during the day, quality is great and footage mostly smooth. But in low light it all gets very blurry. The iPhone 5 captures similarly good videos in the sun, but low light recordings are filled with digital noise. You can really enjoy videos and images on the brilliant displays of the LG G2 or the iPhone 5, but the larger 5.2-inch display on the G2 is definitely easier on the eyes if you watch a lot of YouTube videos or other clips. The G2 and the iPhone 5 easily played back all common formats with TrueDAM at even 1080p Full HD resolution. For music, LG has its own player that breaks down your collection by songs, albums, artists, genres, and all that standard stuff. Navigation is easy as you can just swipe between tabs. The iPhone has the dedicated iTunes store for easy music discovery and purchase, and the music app that we all well know. There were no issues with call quality as both the LG G2 and the iPhone 5 produce loud and clear tones through their earpiece. Both devices feature noise cancellation technology that would filter side noises nicely, and the LG G2 even has all 3 microphones for that. One thing we definitely adore in the G2 is its large 3000 mAh battery. Not just that, LG has optimized a lot of the experience to fit a low power envelope, and all of this combines for record-breaking longevity on the G2. The handset will easily last users 2 days on average. Now that counts against a modest 1440 mAh battery on the iPhone 5. The iPhone is very well optimized, but still the G2 has a definite edge.
The Apple iPhone 5 has aged nicely. Its aluminum body and solid design still looks good, even in comparison with today's LG G2. It also has a brilliant display and a surprisingly comparable 8-megapixel camera. However, 1 year has also taken its toll. The LG G2 has a gorgeous display. It's fast, it's powerful, and it features a long-lasting 3000 mAh battery that make it altogether the better phone. Now, that's true if you prefer a larger display, of course. If you want something more compact and something that you can easily use single-handedly, the iPhone 5 is still one of the best devices out there. For a more detailed comparison, make sure to head to phonearena.com to learn more. Thanks for watching.